Hey everyone, welcome back to Up in the Air, a podcast all about my flings and things. I'm Katie Bingle. This is going to be the last episode for the summer. I just want to thank you all for supporting this dream of mine. Truly, without all of the love and warm wishes and everlasting support, I would have stopped a lot sooner. Really, truly, thank you guys so much for sharing and subscribing and following along with me and listening to my stupid little tangents from my silly little mind. I originally started this in February 24th is when I started. I think that was like my first launch of the first episode, and look where we are now. It's June, and I can't believe this. This is really fun, and I'm just really thankful. Thank you so much for believing in me and supporting me throughout this entire time. It's really cool shit. And as promised, this SEXCAPADES episode is a positive one. I'm sorry it took so long to send out, but I promise it's worth the wait. This one's a little different. It's very special to me. We've got a lot of emotions, a lot of deep thoughts going on. So it took some time to write it. Truthfully, I recorded this a couple of different times and none of them are good. I just kept adding details and more details, so this is a lot good. I can already tell it's going to be a lot longer than my normal 22-minute episodes. But I think we should just get into it right now. Let's just fucking start. So, as you all know by now, in my free time, I like to go on dates with men. Yes, I am a straight heterosexual woman, and I'm sorry for it. But going on dates with men is now, it's turned now into, my form of entertainment. Majority of the time, I come back with a good story to tell. As long as I come home safe and relatively untouched, I have a good story. Even if the date is astronomically bad, it's new material for me and for you. So let's get right into it. It's June, which means I've lived in LA for 2 whole years now. Wow, holy shit. I feel like I've dated a lot of different people out here, but there's just so much more that I haven't discovered yet. A lot of different personalities I have not untapped. And there are definitely types of men out here. There's definitely some key individuals, but definitely a generalization of all the personalities here. You can summarize them into different categories, but let me explain just 5 of them. Even though there are many, many more than that. Let me just hit the key 5s that I keep running into. Coming in at number 1 is the filmmaker. This is a boy who wants to be a director someday, but in the meantime works at a local coffee shop because he hates the corporate chains. The filmmaker will constantly reference Fight Club as the best movie of all time. He's going to ask you what you like and then immediately degrade your decision without any hesitation. If you say anything that wasn't created by Martin Scorsese, you are wrong. And even if before you answer, if you try to think of something that he would like, if you try to name a movie or even a director that he would like, he's still gonna hate you. He's not gonna like it because you said it, not him. He wants to tell you about this, about his craft, about his industry, about his artistry. If you try to ask him what he's doing to achieve his dream, he's gonna say, well, I'm talking to a few people and I'm getting together to network with a few industry elites. Whatever the fuck that means. I have no idea what you're talking about. So if you want to spend your evening being talked down to, I highly suggest this bitch. 5 out of 10. Number 2 is the trust fund baby, a boy that has no concept of the real world, meaning money is no object to him because it has never meant anything to him. It has no value because he's always had it. Never had to worry, never had to work. Still doesn't. Trust fund baby will pay for your dinner and expect sex after. And if you don't put out, he's going to ditch you to go do coke in the bathroom and then really leave. Avoid at all costs. 4 out of 10. Number 3 is real estate guy. A guy that had got into real estate simply for the commission. He rolls up to the date in an Uber black XXL, wears a blazer to every date, and treats you like his next potential client. He's asking you questions like, Where do you live now? Why do you live there? Have you ever thought about Sherman Oaks? Great properties out there. The property value is skyrocketing. You can find some really good deals right now. Be prepared to have your credit score handy, as he will ask for that too at the table. Loves the movie Wolf of Wall Street. But he does pay for everything, so 7 out of 10. Coming in at number 4 is the Silver Lake Whore. A dude that does not shower at all. Does not really care about you or himself, for the look of it. Dyes his hair so often because it's the only thing that he can really control in his life. If you ask him out on a date, you might catch him in between hair dyeing sessions, which means he could have possibly showered beforehand, but no promises, of course. He has 4 roommates. You never see them. You hear them, but you never see them. What you can see, though, is the dirt underneath his fingernails. Do not, under any circumstances, let him finger you. I don't care if you just saw him wash his hands. Don't do it. That's probably the first time in 28 days, to be honest. A full menstrual moon cycle has passed before he's washed his hands. On the plus side, he has some interesting body art. And I would love to use the phrase cool tattoos, but they just are not. That's not accurate. That's not real. So they are just interesting body art. Feel free to ask about them because he loves to explain the story behind each piece. I give him a 6 out of 10. And number 5, the one I run into the most, the one that fucks me over every time, the one that I keep chasing after, is the visitor. Also known as the transplant, aka I just moved here 3 months ago. You know, he just got here, he's looking to have a good time, he probably has some distortion in his mind about what it means to be in LA. He just wants to live, he just wants to have a good time. He's been to the city before, probably for about a week, and then he thinks he knows it all. Or maybe he visits often for short-term stays. This guy is dangerously entertaining. One you would want to watch from afar and not get attached to. However, he will look deeply into your eyes and tell you you're electric. You're nothing like he's ever seen before. He's a master at flirting, a world champ in manipulation. Then just when you start to get a slight idea in your head, he runs for the hills that he says he lives in. 9 out of 10. The very best date I've been on in my entire life happened in Los Angeles, right here during my first year living here. I've been on more dates than I can remember, but I think I'll always look back to this one as my favorite. I'll give it to him. I'll give him that much. It was really fun, and he definitely hooked me. In the past 2 years, I've genuinely liked 2 men that I've met here, and both of them were number 5s. What can I say? I'm a toxic bitch that likes a thrill. Met him on Bumble, a dating app, as always. It's always an app. It's always a motherfucking app. Funny enough, I almost passed on him because of his name. I'm not going to say it out of fear that he might message me, but I'm almost certain he doesn't listen to this and doesn't even follow the podcast account. So, as much as I would like to say it, even though it would probably be fine, I'm not going to. I won't say his name. But I'm pretty judgmental, so, guess what his name was. But man, he was fucking cute. He was so fucking attractive. Oh my God, I just had to meet him. And we matched. We exchanged numbers and set a date. Now in 2019, I was new to the dating game, so I made my own set of rules and regulations. I made guidelines for myself. And one of the things that I would do is this little test on my first dates. Here's how it would go. The same day of the date, I would cancel. How far in advance? Maybe 2 hours. Yeah, okay. I don't know why I'm whispering. I would cancel 2 hours before the date. And I'll tell you why I did this. This was a test of interest. It was to test the guy's interest in me, his interest in me. Because usually I like to text for maybe a week or so before meeting up. Because if we're having a dry ass texting conversation, I'm not gonna want to meet you. And if you're listening to this going, well, I'm just a bad texter, get better. It's not that fucking hard. Ask me about my fucking day, bitch. Like, it's not that fucking hard, like, to keep up a conversation. So I would do that frequently. It was, to be honest, it was like a mixture of like testing interest, but also my own anxiety like coming out. Anxiety about just like going on the date with like a stranger, you know, like that's just, it was just like a small nerve. It's okay, it's fine. Because one of two things would happen. I would cancel and he wants to reschedule immediately. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, let's do that. Great. And setting another date meant he was passing the test. Not passing the test would mean that he would say something like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I'll talk to you later this week. Let's try again, like, later this week. I'll let you know. And then we would never speak again. That's failing the test. So the night that we were supposed to go out, I actually was not feeling great anyway and wanted to cancel for health reasons, not for the test reason. And he was very cool over text, like not annoyingly dry, actually very interesting and funny. We're on the same page with a lot of things. I'm making him laugh, or at least that's what the emojis were doing. So I just like sucked it up and started getting ready. And then he texts me. He texts me canceling on me. Like, no. You're not supposed to do this. This is my thing. This is what I do. You can't do that. And he gives me some like bullshit excuse of like, oh, the exterminator we hired isn't done yet, so I think we should play it safe and just like find another time. And I was like, an exterminator? At like 6 p.m.? Like, come on. Okay, fine. All right, fine. Benefit of the doubt. And we set another date. Looking back at his profile on Bumble, you can be as specific as you want to be with it, including putting your zodiac sign. I am an Aries, and he is as well. And I have this one friend that knows the signs really well, right? She's my go-to person when I have like these types of zodiac questions of like, oh, are we going to be like compatible? Like, not that I like fully believe in it, but it's interesting and it's fun. Because like I've said before, I don't care to learn about it myself. I'm not going to do the research, but I will believe whatever people tell me. My friend tells me to be careful because it's likely that he is going to exhibit the same or if not like similar habits that I do. So she's like, be careful. I was like, well, I don't know about that. You know, like I haven't even met him. Like, come on. But then again, he did the canceling thing, and I do that, or I used to. So, like, we're already similar people from what I can tell, so, like, what else is he gonna do? And now I'm, like, even more interested. Now I've, like, built up, like, a fantasy in my head of, like, well, if he's gonna be similar to me, I wonder what, like, he's gonna dress like. I wonder how he speaks, like, language used and stuff. Because, like, obviously texting is a lot different than, like, in-person conversations. So I'm excited to meet this guy. So we meet. I'm fashionably late, 15 minutes. Our first date was at Mel's Diner on Sunset Boulevard. I am a diner bitch through and through, all the way. I love that shit. I thrive on diners. It's the most American thing about me. I don't know if it's the childlike taste buds that I possess or what, but I just love the vibe. Like, I love a booth. I love, like, yellow tinted light bulbs. I don't know. I fuck with it. I feel comfortable there. If you don't vibe with diners, we will not get along. Point blank, period. I'm dressed casual, of course. I have a ripped jean on. I have a black shirt on, obviously. And he is also wearing a lot of black. We all know that I love that, so we'll give him a point for that. I quickly find out that he is silly, and he is so nice. I instantly develop a crush on him. And I think he could tell. I don't hide it very well. When I get a crush on someone, all I want to do is just like smother them in compliments. I want to say like, you're great. You're so cute and funny. You're amazing. You're fantastic. I'm lovable and beautiful and spectacular. Did I mention I think you're cute? I didn't do that this time, but in my head, I was saying I love you to him already. Obviously, I was not in deep love with him. It was just a surface level love. The kind of love where you just love them on the outside. You don't even know who they are as a person. You just love the exterior. On the inside, he had the same energy of a young Jim Carrey. Confident, intelligent, hilarious, and just down for anything, as am I. Another test I like to give to my first dates is asking the question, want to get a tattoo tonight? And don't worry, I offer to get one with them too. It's not just like, you get a tattoo. It's us. It's an us bonding experience. Now, I know this is a bogus test because tattoos are really big commitments, so I understand why 99% of people would say no. But wouldn't it be so fun if they said yes? Wouldn't that just be like the best time ever? Just something like fun and spontaneous, like thrilling. There's a little bit of physical shit going on. Like, it's just fun. To me, at least. I had a guy once say yes, and I was like so gung-ho for it. It was like my first yes out of like 100 no's, you know, and I was just like thrilled. I was more than thrilled. I was just ecstatic, and I was signing the paperwork. We were in the studio. I was signing the paperwork for it, and he chickened out. I was signing paperwork for it. Here's what happened. I was signing paperwork. Did I mention that I was signing paperwork? And I remembered like, oh, I don't have enough cash to tip. Like, there's an ATM across the street. I'll run out really fast. Come if you want, dude. I don't give a shit what you do. And, I'll come back. He chickened out. I like literally had the cash in my hand from the ATM. Like, he went with me. He did not even like try to stop me. Maybe he was like nerves or something, but he fucking chickened out like a motherfucking loser. Like, come on, man, we're here. I already signed the paperwork. I just took out cash. Like, don't be a pussy. Fine, whatever. And most of the time, like, the guys that I go out with already have a few, if not like really big tattoos, like covered, and like their arms are covered in tattoos. So like in my head, I'm like, what's one more? And I'm not asking it to be like a whole chest piece or like, like get, I don't know, don't write like my name on your forehead or some bullshit, but like, just something. Do like a smiley face or something. I don't know. Do whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter. Like, that has nothing to do with it. But like, wouldn't it be so cool if you did get a tattoo and on the first date? I think that would be dope. So I pose this question to this guy, and he smiles like the devil and says, fine, but you have to pick it out. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. That is so not what I was expecting, but I am in deep love right about now. Like, I was on surface level love, and now I've just taken a deep dive into the love submarine. And here I am in the Marianas, that's not how you say it. You know what I mean, that Marinara Trench, and I'm in it. I'm in love. No restrictions, he says. And I'm racing in my head. I'm really bad at improv, so I'm like trying to think on the fly, like, oh my god, what would I make him get or something. Now, I'm a toxic bitch, but I'm not sinister. So I tell him, get my first name tattooed on your ass. Something little, something lighthearted. Just a small tattoo on the most hidden part of the body. No commitment there. His eyes widen. I see all the whites of his eyes, and he says, don't tempt me because I'll do it. Well, what's stopping you, babe? Let's go. I'll get on Yelp right now, bitch. I am ready to make this happen. I want to look up the best tattoo parlors around in the 5-mile radius. I am damn near about to offer to pay for his tattoo. I didn't have a job at the time, but I'm offering to pay for his ass tattoo if he actually wants to go through it. But in the end, he didn't. He says he can't. He says he will not get a name on his body. And I respect it, and we drop it. But in my mind, he's already He's already passed that test. Like, that was enough for me. I was like already in love with him, and then like just saying like all that stuff, I was like, yep, that's it. That makes sense. I think we must have spent 3 hours at this diner talking about everything under the sun. Where he's from, why he's in LA, why am I here, where am I from, what do I want to do, like all the regular questions that you ask. We are making each other laugh so much. The energy in the room is vibrant. He poses this deep question to me, saying, "What's your favorite thing in life?" My favorite thing in life? What do you mean? Like my favorite food in life? Like my favorite memory? Like my favorite place, location, like movie, song? No, just what's my favorite thing in life, of life? And it doesn't take me long to think of my answer. I already know my answer. It's genuine and it's accurate to me and like my career goals and stuff. So I make him give his answer first. His answer is a lot sexier than mine, I must admit. The whole time he was like seriously flirting hard with me, being a combination of like sexy, romantic, funny, and I'm digging it. So when he told me his answer, I obviously giggled, as I do. I'm a giggler. Even if it's not really funny, like I'll just giggle. And then proceeded to give a way better answer than his, making him feel weird. And if you want to know, my favorite thing to do in life is to laugh. I'm laughing because I'm having a good time, like 90% of the time, not just my fake giggling. And if I'm not laughing, then what the fuck am I doing? Not having a good time. And that's not always necessarily true, obviously. I mean, like, you can't just like go your way like laughing at life every single day. But just because I'm not laughing doesn't mean that I'm not having a good time. But my favorite thing to do is laugh. I want to hear something funny. I want to see something funny. Tell me a story. Tell me a joke. Like, tell me some kind of anecdote. Like, give me something. I want to laugh. Like, I appreciate humor in all of its forms. He rolled his eyes at my response, admitting that it was a hell of a lot better. I told him my runner-up, one of the other things I love to do in life is to drive around at night listening to music. Or daytime. It doesn't have to be nighttime. I prefer the night. It's more fun. LA is perfect for that because, first of all, it's huge and there's just so much to see. You can drive to the beach, you can drive downtown, see other cityscapes, other communities, neighborhoods, then you've got mountains all of a sudden, and we've got it all, I swear. And he was interested. Perfect. So we jump in my car, we head towards Malibu. For context, we're in West Hollywood and we're going to Malibu. Like, that's a long-ass drive. It's about like 24 miles, so, you know, lots of time to chit-chat. A night drive to the beach is very romantic, except we didn't even get out to go to the beach. We just like stayed in the car the whole time. I think I just like pulled a Yui. But anyway, during the middle of it, we just keep clicking. I'm making him laugh really hard. I think I made like a Mike Pence being gay joke and he like loved that shit. He's making me develop like this massive crush. Like at first, remember, it was just like surface level exterior crush, and then like we took a little deep dive into the marinara love trench, and now I have like a full on like hysterical crush on him. Like I want to like hold his hand, I want to love on him, like I just want to like hold him tight and never let him go. And this was a really new feeling for me. I might go as far as to say that this quite possibly could be a love at first sight moment. Having never met him before, and yeah, we talked briefly before meeting, but I'm telling you, this was a new connection that I have never felt before. He kept my interest. He's a very smart man. So the fun combination of intelligence, sex appeal, and humor, and he's got me hooked. We talked about everything. Again, even more stuff. And we talked about like cultural differences, like he's originally from Europe. We talked about the student loan debt crisis. Then he asked me about my career goals. And as we all know by now, I want to write for Saturday Night Live, so I told him that. I told him an ambitious time frame to meet that goal, and he pulled out his phone to set a reminder 5 years from then that read exactly, Katie is in NYC. And I was like, okay, I'm dead. You've got me now. You could do whatever you want to me. He hooked me in, hook, line, and sinker. Now I'm a dead fish that fell for it all. Part of the drive, I put on a playlist that has a few Kings of Leon songs, and I love Kings of Leon. It's like one of my favorite band. It's like my favorite band of people, so I really appreciate it. And whatever, fuck you, I like them. He complimented my music choices, and I told him this little anecdote, which was the only way that I could see a Kings of Leon concert in person is with my husband, or it has to be like a long time partner, like significant other, because I would 100% definitely be getting pregnant that night. And he's like, wait, what? Naturally, he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I was like, oh, you know, like, I mean, like, you know, when you go see like your favorite artist perform and like in concert in person, your energy is really up and you want to keep like the party going afterwards. So I feel like that's when I would get pregnant. I just know it. The devilish smile returns to his face as he whips out his phone again to ask Siri out loud, hey Siri, when's the next Kings of Leon concert? And I died twice that night. that one really got me. That one really made me laugh hard. I completely fell for it all over again, even harder. Just like the last time, I hit the ground, except for this time I hit the pavement head first. All of my logic went out the window as soon as he said that. I don't know. It wasn't like necessarily smooth, obviously not, but like just like blatant. But I appreciate like the blatantness of people. I appreciate the brash sometimes. I mean, I was ready to go to Vegas and marry this kid, you know? Like, it's only 4 hours away by car. Why not? We made it back to Hollywood. It's a WeHo. But we wanted to keep this going still. And he asked me, what type of vibe are you going for? Do you want to be like romantic or silly? Do you want an adventure? Do you want to go to a club and like all this stuff? So I suggested a 24/7 diner again. This time it was my choice. Last time it was his. And this time it was mine. And I named a place called Swingers here in West Hollywood. Classic shit, quiet enough to get to know someone. I parked across the street. It's like 2 a.m. at this point, and the date started at 8 p.m. That's right, ladies and gents. I saw his face at 8 p.m., and it's now 2 a.m. I chose a booth with a window so I could have my car within eyesight. Right as we take our seats, he gets up to use the bathroom, says, if the waitress comes back before I do, just order for us. I trust you. I was like, damn, that's a lot of responsibility here, but I know exactly what I'm gonna do. See, at dinner, the original diner that we went to, Melly's, he ordered a vanilla milkshake for himself. Said it's a classic favorite for him. Also found out then that he and I share the same favorite beer, which is a Corona. And we have similar tastes in coffees, like we drink black coffee exclusively. Waitress comes back around right as he gets back to the table, and he motions for me to take the lead. So I perk up. I sit straight up, and I'm like, ma'am. No, just kidding. I was like, bitch. No, just kidding. I said, can we get 2 black coffees, 2 Coronas, and 1 vanilla milkshake, please? A bitch pays attention. I'm an observer. I learn, okay? I can learn. Y'all. When I tell you, his facial expression was clearly a mix of surprise, lust, and peak fascination with me. And I'm not exaggerating. With wide eyes and an open mouth, he says, could you be any more perfect? Fuck. Fuck me up. I'm knocked the fuck out. I am KO'd. Get in the car, we're gonna go to Vegas, we're gonna make it by daybreak. You know what I mean? Like, I just fell for this guy. He like hardly did anything. Like, and that's all it takes. I'm just a loose goose motherfucker, you know? Like, it doesn't take much to like impress me or like want to like gain my fascination. It really doesn't. But like, all he did He's a good listener. All he did was listen, make me genuinely laugh, and, you know, it didn't hurt to be attractive on the outside either. And plus, like, his taste in clothing, like, we, like, shared styles and stuff, like, we're very similar in a lot of ways. It seems like after just one night of knowing each other, like, we have a lot of similarities. The similarities in humor and personality alone was enough for me to want to scream, "I love you." And that's what I do when I get a crush, right? I just want to tell them, like, how amazing I think they are. I just want to say, "I love you," like, even if I don't mean it. Like, all I want to do is show affection with words and, like, physical action. Like, if he had let me, I would have told him all night how incredibly attracted to him I was, and how cute I think he is, and how badly I want to cuddle up next to him and, like, tell him I love him. Like, "I love you, but I'm not actually, mostly in a shallow way. I do. Let's get married, but as a joke, but also kind of not. Like, if we could get married without the government involved, I would. Like, as a joke. It's a prank, but I'm down." You can tell I like you when I'm all over you in both words and physical touch. I think in terms of love languages, my ranking order would be this. 1 is words of affirmation, 2, physical touch, 3 is quality time, 4 is gifts, and 5 is acts of service. So, word to the wise, if you ever find yourself on a date with me and you're not receiving a million compliments back, you can go ahead and lose my number. Thank you. Thank you, next. This man is telling me how much I remind him of an old girlfriend who happens to be a celebrity that I like. She has done, like, a lot of work in Hollywood, but at the time of our date, I was rewatching her starring role in this one season show, got canceled pretty fast, called Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. And he's telling me how he survived a stabbing, how he saved his own life after multiple attacks, like separate attacks. He's been to boarding school. He got kicked out because he, like, I don't know, like, climbed out of a fucking window, like an ironclad window or some shit. I don't know. All this exciting bullshit that is almost too good to be true. Sirens should have been going off in my head, but because I was so seduced by this fucker, I believed it all. It goes without saying, but I'll say it again, I'm gullible as hell. So I was just eating this shit up. Later, when I told my best friend about this whole entire thing, he told me I was the dumbest bitch alive, and I was like, yeah, whatever, it's not gonna hurt me to believe his crazy-ass stories. Because, like, what's the harm in, like, believing his stories? Like, it's really not gonna do anything. Like, the worst it's gonna do is, like, make me look stupid, and, like, I do that every day on my own. I don't need him to do that. One moment that really stood out to me, made me think that I could have some fun with this guy, some real fun with this guy, was when he was complimenting my eyes. I was taking a sip and I, like, looked up at him, and that angle where you can only see, like, the eyes, like, the cup, like, covers the rest of it, and, like, as you're sipping, like, the cheekbones are, like, sucked in a little bit more, you know, like how you're, like, sipping a straw, you know, that you get, like, the angles. I was doing that, and I knew what I was doing, and he did too. He told me that he found me to be so attractive that he was holding back all the thoughts that were racing through his head. And y'all know me. I'm like, oh yeah, what are they? Say it, pussy, you fucking won't. But he did. Oh, but he did. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, every, like, challenge that, like, we gave each other, like, we're too similar. Like, we jumped on each other, basically. And he told me, he fucking spilled it all to me. Every thought that was going through his head, he told me. And I was definitely taken aback, but also really intrigued. He said if he could hop across this table just to be able to kiss me, he would. And I was like, go for it. And he grabbed the table and, like, shook it, and I was like, no, stop, like, don't do that. Like I, as much as I love making a scene and being dramatic, like, I'm not about to fuck right here in this diner, not at Swingers, not in this economy. But I admired the persistence. I liked that I tried calling his bluff, and he pulled, like, the reverse Uno card on me, catching my bluff instead. I could not get enough of him. It's 4 a.m. We met at 8 p.m. Never a dull moment. Never an awkward silence. Never a second guess. I wanted to get going. I'm a sleepy bitch. I need to hit the mattress in a productive way. But he still had the milkshake to finish. I challenged him to finish it in less than 15 seconds. I challenged him to suck it all up through the straw. And he was like, I could easily do that. And I was like, okay, well then do it. I want to go home. And instead, he said if he wins, I have to kiss him. What a hard bet to take on. It's not like I haven't been imagining what kissing you would be like the entire fucking night. You're on. He won. Oh my God. I'm so upset. Ugh. What am I gonna do now? Kiss you? Okay. But we don't. Back in my car, I'm shivering. Why the fuck is it so cold? I muttered under my breath. I drove him home. He kisses me then. And damn. It's that fucking feeling again. It's the taste again. It's a taste you only get with very select people. And I'll explain it in a second. But when he got out, you know, the car overhead light came on, and as they normally do. And out of the corner of my eye, I noticed my entire back seat is pulled down, which I don't think I've ever done since I got this car. I don't think I've ever pulled the seat entirely down. It's down because some hoe punched my back like quarter window and trying to steal shit from my car. Unlucky for them, because I don't keep anything in my car for this exact reason. I only keep like my car charger visible, and even then, like sometimes I'll like hide it under the seat or something. Like there's nothing in my car. I gasped. My jaw is dropped. But I'm not upset. I had such a great time that I couldn't care. I didn't give a shit. It was like honestly more perfect than anything. Nothing was stolen, and the only damage was really the window, and I can safely guess that it was just a homeless person. My car, just like me, happened to be at the right place, right time. Why didn't the alarm go off? How come I didn't notice this? Like, I parked it exactly where I could see it, and I guess this guy was just so fucking handsome that I was just locked eyes on him the entire time. Like an idiot, like a real buffoon. I don't know, but I don't care. He was trying to get me to, like, file a police report, but again, no real harm was done, so not necessary. But it was probably the most perfect ending to our date. Amazing time the entire night at every location. We did all my favorite things. We hit up diners. We drove to Malibu. I made him laugh like so hard. He's making me laugh. Like he's saying some like pretty sexy comments, and like everything was just going so well. And just when I'm about to drive home on cloud nine, I'm cruising in my Chevy Cruze. Boom, a fucking brick. But it's all right. It's fine. What's not all right is that I never saw him again. He was a one-night only show. I tried pretty hard to see him again, but he was definitely playing me the whole time. I called him out for it once, and he was all like, "What do you mean?" I know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you're doing. We still follow each other, by the way. In fact, when I had to make a new Instagram not too long ago, a couple months ago, I followed him again. And he followed me back. So I don't know what that means. And I highly doubt that he will listen to this, but if he does, hey. This date was almost 2 years ago. Seriously, 2019. And I remember almost every detail. That taste, that feeling I got from when he kissed me was pretty hard to forget. It's difficult to describe. For me, there are a few people that I've met on this planet that I've genuinely liked or wanted to pursue. So when I find a connection like this one, I want it. I can't stop thinking about it. It totally consumes me. I can move forward in my daily life and try to get over whatever was lost, but I'll always remember these guys, the number 5s. The feeling and the taste of the kiss can only be described as finding your soul's home. I can tell because I've had this before. With Liam, my college boyfriend, we deemed each other as soulmates. Liam had a taste of home to me, a comfort, a love, a kiss that I wanted all the time. It's rare to find in humanity, I think. For me, at least. I mean, fuck, 2 years later and I can't let the feeling of home in that guy go. He very well could have been like a major player, a bachelor type guy that has no regards for other people's feelings. Just cruising through life. Slamming through pussy. I couldn't even finish that sentence. Slamming through pussy. There we go. He could have been a scammer. He still could be. He could be all these things today. He could be a secret agent for all I know. Or he could be a person that wants the exact same thing as me. Independence. I don't know. I just know that what I felt was, and still is, a connection that makes its way to me about once a year, maybe. Maybe once every 2 years. It's the reason why when I picture my future, I picture myself alone, not with anyone by my side. My future is me killing it in life. I told this to someone recently, when someone like asked me like, what do I want in my life? Like, what do I want my future to look like? My wildest dreams, like if I could have it all. It's me. My future is me. I don't imagine having like a husband or kids or anything like that. Not to say that I don't want those things. Not to say that it's not going to happen for me, but that's not what I'm focused on. That's not necessarily what I'm looking for. I want me. I want everything that I set my mind to. It's me. It's me living in New York. It's me being on SNL, writing for SNL, making it on Weekend Update. It's me touring the world, selling out stadiums and arenas and all of this shit that makes me smile on a daily basis. It motivates me. I motivate myself. My future is me. It's not with anybody else. I can't picture myself with anybody else. It's not necessarily like I'm like so selfish and so like career driven that I don't want kids or like a love life or anything like that. Like I'll want those things eventually, but I have to find them first. I have to find the person that makes me want those things with them. I don't want them on my own accord. I don't want a family just to make one, to have one, you know. I don't want a husband just to have a ring on my finger and to split bills with. That would be nice though, not gonna lie. Anyway, it's just that rare feeling of home is one of the reasons why I date so casually. Because if a guy doesn't give me that feeling, it most likely won't last long. But then again, neither did this dude, so I could be completely off. Whatever, it's how I feel. You gonna tell me how to feel, dude? You gonna tell me how to feel? No, didn't think so. Another good friend of mine told me that maybe this guy came into my life to show me that these types of people are out there. That love is not lost on me. It's not that I think that love is not going to happen for me again. I know it is. I think it has more to do with the type of person I want to love and be loved by. A young Jim Carrey. So, very best date, if you've gotten this far, thank you, and hopefully you won't find this creepy, and if you do, sorry about ya. However, if you don't, let me know when you're in LA again, or don't. I don't know if I could honestly see you after releasing this. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you again for the continuous support. It really means the world to me. I'm gonna cry. I hate myself. I love you and I hate myself. And this is Up in the Air. I'm Katie Bingle. I'll see you later. Bye.